Hey, Rex.
What up?
Howdy,
What
howdy.
down? What? Hey. What up? What down? What all around? Waiting on Eric Hudson. I hope he hadn't forgotten.
Yeah.
But, I started a minute or two early. So,
Yeah.
as to get in some trailers, that Do Good book looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Ben Franklin sort of
hmm
traveled through time. I think, but man, I mean, it kind of threw me off when it said 13 issues. Wow. Okay. All right. Sure. Why not? I mean, it couldn't be just like a one and done and be like, wow, that was a pretty neat concept, but no, apparently it's a whole saga. So,
Yeah.
um,
No, yeah. Yeah, he's got the whole story written out and everything already. So
mhm.
it's just a matter of, selling enough books to keep going.
And Pitt Volume 1, $79,173 at this point. Let's take a look.
I'm amazed it doesn't hit 100,000 yet.
Yeah, you're amazed at what now, Shadowhawk?
So I'm amazed it hasn't hit 100,000 yet.
Well, it is only issues 1 through 4. So,
Well, it's 1 through 4 plus one half. The
okay,
one half
the
issue.
Wizard 1/2 issue. Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
if I have that in my collection or not. Uh,
Yeah, I've got that one, but it'd be nice to have it in a trade
well, of
paperback.
course you've got that one. You're a mega collector. You collect all this stuff.
Well, for those years I was.
I don't like to brag, but yeah, for those years, and then I take a 18-year hiatus.
Yeah, hey, I needed a break.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, good to see you, buddy.
And I'll just look that up on eBay, the Pit half issue, see what the cover looks like.
Well, that's the nice thing is once I get the trade paperbacks, I can put all my old uh, original pit copies up on eBay. So, yay.
mm, okay, was the half issue, was that from Full Bleed? Is that the one he's
Um,
putting up?
yeah, I believe so. Not the wizard one.
Okay. So this one right here,
Mm,
Full Bleed Pit half
yeah,
issue,
yep,
encore
that's the one.
presentation. Is that all new? He says encore presentation. Is that a reprint or is that new stuff? I guess it's new stuff, right?
I I don't remember exactly what it was when it came out, Rex. So it's 35 years ago.
Yeah, I don't think I had that one in my collection. Didn't even know exasperated. I mean, yeah,
Existed.
yeah. Oh, is it pretty pricey? I didn't notice. Uh, I mean, 1 through 4, and then a half issue. It's like you could probably pick up the floppy. So I think that's and that it's not even close to doing what Nexus is doing. As far as compiling everything. Oh, it's $80 with shipping. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And that's not to you in the UK. That's probably domestic, right?
yeah, that's here.
I am giving out free wrenches today, but then when do I not?
I had to get my
It,
Michael Turner cover. I don't care how much he was asking for.
yeah. There's Eric Hodson's link tree. It didn't have that much on there. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel or maybe, some people, and even remastered just scans. Not even remastered, just scans
Yeah, I
of
don't
the
know if
book,
that's
I guess.
I don't know if that's true or not. Hey, Tree. Hail.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you, Tree Godwin, especially in here early. It kind of brings back the early days when Tree was like maybe some times the very first person in here, which is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Now tomorrow, if you like the Gil Kane,
Oh,
and
God.
I'll try not to be Wikipedia with John Byrne, but I learned a lot in that Gil Kane. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I learned a lot by reading that Gil Kane. He had his hand in a lot of different things, like the creation of Tigera, and other characters that I didn't know. Uh, Very cool. And I mean, to start out at 16, wow. I mean, what a career from the 40s to the 90s. You know,
Yeah,
um,
it's insane.
yeah. Um, if we wasn't putting poison in our foods and stuff in Minecraft, then you might have lived longer. Uh, I guess I better send Eric just to let you know. Mm.
Oh, what did I do? Dang it.
I know he's a family man, so I know he likes his rye whiskey or whatever, something like that. He likes to drink anyway, a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
He's at Dreaded Dinosaur. Make pop culture great again, he says. I can just show you here on the screen so that I'm just not talking. There we go. Um, his link tree is there. He says he's a creator of the Dreaded Dinosaur Man on Webtoon, fantasy artist, pro wrestling artist, comic illustrator, uh, sclerodermal survivor, and I did look that up, what that was. I can't remember. That was a few days ago. Anime, old comics, hell, and also this
Viral
was a
journal.
comic book artist, carnivore enthusiast, and citizen of Tartarin, Tartara gender. So I don't know. Known in the community for quite a bit.
Yeah.
because I mean, followed by Tank Ferret, Neo Art, and 443 others that I follow. But then I follow a lot of people. You read a Dinosaur, Eric Hodson. His link tree is up there. $80, and I have the books I would support if I had the money. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed that it's only the 4 issues and the half issue, because you can go on eBay and probably get those in pretty good shape in floppy form. I'm not saying
Yeah,
don't
probably,
support it.
probably,
Nice to have
probably about the same
volume,
price.
but at this rate, and I know they didn't do that many, but at this rate, you're going to have several volumes. And you know what? I've got enough in my house already
Yeah, keep your
without
complaints too.
without having half a shelf
It's gonna be
with nothing
5
but
trade paperbacks, and then you're gonna get a nice slip cover for them, so they go right up on your shelf for beautiful storage.
oh, kind of like Cyberfrog within a box, slipcase for the
Yeah.
whole thing.
So
Now, is
once
that
the last
offered on
trade
the?
comes out, then you'll get the slip case for them, and you get to put them all
Oh,
in there
okay.
and put them up on.
That might work. I mean, but I mean, how much have you put into it by then? If it's 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, it's
Well, that's
4 times.
it's worth it.
That's nearly
It's worth
four
it to
hundred
me. I don't
dollars.
know if it's worth it to everybody else,
Four
but
hundred
it's worth
dollars
it to
worth of
me.
pit. Whoo, less than
Yeah.
400, but I mean, still. Whew.
I've spent that much on Pitt without Pitt even being
Oh,
around.
I know you spent that much and more on Pineapple Perception, which you'll maybe never see.
Exactly. So
Me too.
I wish I could get my money back from Frega. I'd just give it to fucking Dale instead. But
Yeah. Ryan says, I enjoyed the sardine show. I would have liked to see the opening of the can.
yeah, sorry, this one had soybean oil in it, and I didn't want to.
You wanted
I
to
didn't want
drain
to
it
eat
and the whole
that
thing.
much. Yeah, I didn't want it drowning in soybean oil, so I had to drain it.
Couldn't get one of the
Before
kids to kind of hold it steady while you open in the sink and whatever you
I,
do you think.
you ever opened a can of sardines recently? You got to peel that top off there, and it's not like
Oh, I
super
know. No,
easy.
I haven't done that, but I did a canned ham, and
Mm?
I've done other things. I've actually, uh,
Yeah,
got some
I didn't want to end up with the soybean oil all over my pretty little coffee table out here where I do my filming
or
at. So
anything. Yeah, I might stain or, yeah,
yeah,
I don't
and I
blame you
was
there.
honestly quite frankly surprised. I don't normally get, or actually never get, the
Hey, Mike.
soybean oil ones, and they actually had a really nice flavor. Not real happy that it's soybean oil, but I don't think there was enough with just a can of sardines. Once you drain it, I don't think there's enough there to do too much
Yeah.
damage. But yeah, I gave it a pretty nice flavor with the little added bit of soy. Interesting. Hey, Mike.
Um, let it be not.
If there, if,
Let it not be said that Shadowhawk is soy.
that's right. All right, I didn't get
Uh,
any responses yet. So next week we have either pickled herring, smoked oysters, or whole mussels in the
is
can.
that not? Is that? Oh, you mean okay? You did get a response right there, which was glowing. And
No,
even some,
I'm asking for
but
what people want to see me do next week.
do next, right? Yeah,
Right.
blowfish.
No, the choices are pickled herring,
Okay,
smoked
okay.
oysters.
I'm just suggesting one of the deadliest things, if not prepared correctly, on the planet that could kill you.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
eat it if I could afford it, but
Yeah. I saw Fragga
and I
join the
I
same
don't think
page
they
on
can
stream for
blowfish
3
either.
weeks. I'm sure he's still drawing it. Uh, now.
Who's he got writing it now? Because last I heard, his writer quit.
Well,
So,
I mean, there was a
unless
while,
he,
you know,
I mean, he's
I
had
know,
enough time to have the story written 5 times. So
right. I know Jay Kreger knows Will and used to do a show with Will, right?
Mm,
And
hmm
I've been on streams with Will before, like over at Red Valkyries and other streams, over on Topicless and other places, through the
Yeah, he
years.
works with well, he works with Braga. I think he works with Mark Polton too. And
Yeah,
I thought he
and he
was a
works
pretty
for
good
Jay
guy
with
until
Jay Krager,
oh,
and I know that he, after Fraga came out and said what he said, which was like a month after I got on his show for the very first time, at the very end of it, he opened it up,
mm,
and I went on in and showed a few things, whatever, said hi, had the usual people over there, Luke and Renee, and probably
right.
Will was there, uh, Jason Bascom, people that like really like Fragga stuff, Um, anyway, about a month, later, he comes out with the second stream, right? And he starts talking about stuff, which I thought at the time that I'm uncomfortable as somebody out in the chat listening, much less people that are kind of squirming in their seats that are on panel as he says what he's saying. He really should have thought through that and at least said it maybe on a stream just by himself, you know,
Yeah.
and not
Uh,
not with panelists that have nothing else to do with it, but might be guilt by association just because they're on that stream. And I think
right.
it made some feel uncomfortable because Renee eventually said, "Can't we make just good comics?" And then about 10 minutes later, she just gracefully left. You know, um,
Yeah. And I
and
appreciate
and
Rainey.
you
She
could
does.
you could tell by the look at the other people panelists. I don't want to speak and call out names, but you could tell it was kind of like Fraga years earlier when he was on with Ethan and he
Right.
got that call, that said, "I'd just like to have a conversation with you," and he's like, "What's going on? I can't believe I'm," and that's the way his other panelists were. And I thought he should have thought through that. Maybe he didn't think through it as well. And now things have come to a loggerhead where, Ethan's totally trashed, Fraga. And I don't know how badly, but, you know, I know
Well,
and
it's
then
not
that,
like Braga didn't ask for it, man. I mean,
well, I
it's
mean, I'm
some
not
pretty
saying one way or
questionable
the
shit.
other. I'm just relaying that, I had
I well,
hope up into that time of
I saw
getting,
the videos. I watched the videos that Braga made, and that's some pretty questionable shit, man. I'm sorry, but
sure,
especially to
right.
have his kids in the video doing what they were doing. I mean, that makes me. I wish I could get a fucking refund because I don't even want the fucking book anymore. If that's the kind of shit he's teaching his kids, then I want nothing to do with the guy.
Yeah. Well, something new for the burn pile if you ever get it.
Ugh, man, there's a lot of money to throw in a burn pile. I might just
I've
sell
been
them to
saying that
somebody that
all
wants them.
along with all your burn piles, but I mean, if nothing else, say, "Hey, I have a copy of this. Would you like it?" And gift it to
Well,
somebody if they'll pay you shipping and handling. Which, leads me into my second thing, and I started one thing about Friday, so tomorrow's show, right? So let's go back to that here in a minute. But uh I checked the most recent update on Toma Reckoning Dionysus.
oh, very cool.
So let me read that. You'll be very pleased, Shadowhawk. I was very pleased. Just let me bring it up here real quick again,
All
and
right,
I
Ryan,
and
I've
I'll
got one vote for smoked oysters. Yeah,
there
I
you
love
go.
anchovy
That might
soup.
be the
Oh,
only vote you get, so it may be smoked oysters. I
nom,
was
nom,
going to
nom.
say,
All right, so it might be smoked oysters next Wednesday, unless the vote changes in between.
Dionysus says stack of books just got shipped out. Stack of books just shipped out with more. He sent this out 2 days ago. Okay, so with
Oh, cool.
more to follow next Monday and Tuesday. More Gemini mailers arrived today to ensure safe shipping. Just a reminder, everyone who backed this campaign will receive a free copy of issue 4, which we are going to launch on this. So if you backed
Oh,
Toma Reckoning 3, he's going to give you a free copy, PDF and physical. He only asks that the shipping cost of the physical can be $5, that you, I guess, giving the $5. So he'll probably create a secret tier. And if you backed it, you can get the $5 or whatever it turns out to be, right? And get a free copy of issue 4 and on PDF as well. Once again,
Wow,
thank you
that's
for
cool.
your patience with this campaign. More hiccups than I expected or wanted, but lesson learned. I hope a free copy of the upcoming issue will be seen as a good way to make up the tardiness of this issue to show my gratitude for your understanding with the setbacks of this campaign. Thank you. None of this could have been come to fruition, rather, without all of your help. So that's cool.
Hail deal. And
Yeah.
thank you, sir. That's awesome. I got a free issue coming. Never expected that.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious too. It's like, didn't we leave high school way back in the back?
I thought so.
But who am I to be an old man and criticize?
You're an old man. You got the right to criticize.
You scum. But I mean, yeah, that's great. I'm glad I backed Dionysus. I was looking forward. I actually got the ketchup tier 1, 2, and 3 with a side of mayonnaise. No, ketchup. Anyway, so I'll actually get 4 with it. So wow, physical copy, I guess. And I don't know if that's going to send out with 1, 2, and 3, but I'll have a lot to reading and catching up to do just to get to issue 4. So no rush on that, but we'll be launching 4, I assume, on this channel. At least we've agreed to. How is shipping only $5? I need to know. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Justin Belknot says that pirate ship's about the easiest on shipping, and I'm going to check into that. Just check into it at some point. With that said, with the John Buscema book, it's probably going to go with Critical Blast again, because that could be a very big campaign. And maybe
You're right. Yeah.
what? Who's right?
No, I said right. That could be a very big campaign. I expect it to
Mhm.
be, actually.
Yeah. I did contact the printers today and said, where are my proofs to my sketch cards? We need to get 100 printed up. Toot sweet. So I did contact her. I'm kind of low on gas right now, which, I've got about a little under a quarter of a tank, but that'll get me through the week until I can get my next paycheck in the bank Monday.
Right.
Usually don't run that low, but I just, I don't go anywhere. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been to
I mean, you're
store.
streaming all the time. If you're not at work, you're streaming stuff.
According to Peter's, that was something else. Peter DeLuca, I went over to his channel because Fatness that came on here, or AKA
Muscles. Okay, Chinko.
Spaz, who Ryan
So I
knows
got
because
1-1 muscles and oysters. Oh, it's a battle.
it's a battle.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah. Hey, Rick. What was I just saying? That just totally side railed me. Boink. Had it up there, and anyway.
Yeah, Ryan, I have no idea how he's pulling off shipping that cheap. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. You might check with Pirate Ship. That was one reason I went with Critical Blast on my campaign was he could, especially with the international, we could do it by weight, and even like the art book that was like, well, how much for that shipping price how big a book can I do?
Right.
And he was saying like probably 12 more pages, weight
Well, that's
wise.
pretty
So
good.
there'll at least be 12 pages in the hardback edition, additional. And then on the digital, there'll be additional material as well, found only on the digital. And everybody, Omer convinced me that with about every purchase, why not give everybody a digital copy?
Yeah.
And maybe for those digital people that bought the digital, which Dionysus was one of them. And the most recent sale on the campaign was Ryo and T. He bought a digital. And I said, well, you can have this head sketch, plus I'll send you your charter member card.
Right.
And,
yeah. Well, there you go.
And because I figure you ought to get something, even if you're digital, you're supporting
Well,
your
that should
producer.
save you. That'll save you quite a bit in shipping anyway. So.
What's that?
Just sending out a head sketch and a.
No, that would actually be more. I just said that I would see.
I know it's going to be more, but it's still going to be less than if you were sending a physical book. That was my point.
Oh yeah, yeah. But now I will be. People, most of you, sorry, but most of you will be getting your charter member cards with your order. But now with Raul, I thought, well, he backed the digital, so he's not expected anything more than the digital, right? So I will give him something physical. And I thought I would send one to Lorenzo because he won the mystery contest. And I thought I would send one to Eric and Boyd because he won the total mystery, and gets everything. So I thought I'd send there early since they are kind of contest winners. And I'll probably send yours early too.
I haven't seen Eric the last couple of days.
Because you're my co-host, Anyway, I didn't say that. I'll probably send yours early too, Shadowhawk, with some stuff. But for the most part, you'll get your charter member card that are printed up, by the way, in a top holder, and I'm just kind of waiting on the sketch cards now. And then I'm going to have her print up the covers for probably separate because the cover's ready to go for the sticker book. And I'll probably just give her a number and have her print up that many. And then once we get the guts to it, she can marry the covers with the guts. Staple them, So
very nice.
That'll be the next thing that she starts printing up the covers for the sticker book, or at least that's what I have in my mind, Hey, Ginkgo.
And Rick says, check the Canadian Shield 3 campaign. Just got a new reward. Canadian Shield metal trading card. Woohoo! FundMyComic.com, people. Oi, Sabaloy, Terry.
Now, tomorrow is Feature Friday, episode 1. We focus on John Byrne.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be looking at a lot of John Byrne stuff.
Cool. I like John Byrne.
I'm really looking forward to next year when X-Men Elsewhere comes out in 3 volumes. That's something not to be missed.
Yeah, I'm really kind of looking forward to that one, and I haven't been excited about anything Marvel or DC in a long time.
Okay, she's throwing out a question at me, and then she's throwing a question out at you, so she's not stopping. First, your Shadowhawk, did you eat sardines with tweezers?
Those are
why did you eat sardines with cheese?
It just makes them easier to get out of the can whole, Carrie. So I can have a whole or mostly whole fillet to show to the viewers.
I was talking about my campaign, Carrie, that after she gets printed up the sketch cards, this is an alternate one, but when she gets done with this, then I will have her print up the covers to the sticker books, and then we'll give her the file for the guts, and then she can do the guts. But I'll give her a number on the sticker books and for the campaign and have her just print up the covers right now. Simply because I don't have the file for the interior from Omer yet. I said in the chat, could Mama Hawk join you for tasting fish, seeing as you don't show face?
No, because Mama Hawk does not like fish. The only fish she will eat is when I grill salmon.
Hey, Benjamin. Benjamin Soto in the house. We had Benjamin on about a week ago. Good to see you. I am, as I said earlier, giving out free wrenches today. So
yeah, and plus the big tweezers are way easier than chopsticks.
Yeah. Did you see the 3D printed fork and chopsticks? Like the handles are the chopsticks part, and the spork or the fork, you can either stab it like a fork or you can do the other end with chopsticks. Pretty neat.
Oh wow, well, I hadn't seen
Yeah.
those.
All right, let me get.
Pale Rider says the question should be, why are you eating sardines? Because they're delicious. That's why, Pale
Oh,
Rider.
God. And
I'm
they're fairly
spreading
not
the love.
expensive, right?
No, not too bad. I mean, you can get, little boutique ones and shit that are pretty expensive for a can of sardines, but everything I've done for the last 3 weeks and then the next 3 weeks to come is $1.25 per can, all from the Dollar Tree. I think I'm going to be doing
Ah,
Dollar General next, and then Family Dollar after that, and then we'll move on up to the next level.
there's your Ren, your Ren. There's your rent. There's your wrench, Ben.
Yeah,
How
take
about
that.
that?
See, here's a
There's your
wrench
wrench,
for you.
man. Ah, see, Elseworld. Not Elseworld. He did do
You can
some
dodge a
Elseworld
wrench, you can
stuff
dodge a
for
ball.
DC, but this is Elsewind for Marvel, which he didn't really do it for Marvel, but Marvel will be publishing it in 3 volumes. It's X-Men. Uh, anyway, hello, Pale Rider. The question should be, why are you eating sardines? And they're as delicious as a monkey's ass would taste. I
I've
agree.
never I've never tasted a monkey's ass, but if they taste that good, I would gladly eat one.
Wow. How about a baboon? Because, they're usually, raw.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have to skin them, I guess, because they got that big, crazy purple ass going on. But
Yeah, I
I
know,
don't.
really,
It
for the
doesn't.
older ones, the mandarins, yeah, but now it's
Yeah,
bred
doesn't
raw.
look very very appetizing. But I
No.
mean, survival situation. You're
Throw
gonna
that
eat
in a
whatever's
pot,
on.
boil it up, and get it tender. Apparently, Carrie's not eating because she's not complaining. Of course, we don't have Homer on here talking about poop. But now, he's all forgiven because he sent Cookie over, Cookie Comics, yesterday, which she hadn't been over
Yeah,
here for a while. I love the idea of John Byrne Feature Friday. It will be interesting and is the type of video that could go viral. Okay. Well, I mean, we will be feet. I thought, for Fridays that we would do kind of like what we did yesterday with Gil Kane and kind of feature on an artist and feature some of their stuff
yeah, I like
every
that
Friday.
idea.
How about that? So for
Yeah,
every Friday,
that
we'll
sounds
just
good.
do a feature Friday where we feature an artist. And I thought John Byrne's a good way. We've already done Gil Kane, although there's a lot more we could show with Gil Kane, but
Oh
I,
yeah, that dude
you know,
was unbelievably prolific, man. Holy
and
shit.
if you have somebody that you would like to cover, like Don Heck or I don't know others, uh, you know
Barry Windsor Smith, maybe.
Barry Windsor Smith, right? I mean, we can do that, every Friday and feature new
Bernie
artists,
Wrightson.
show some of their work,
Bernie
and then
Wrightson was around for a long time. He did a lot of
it's
different things.
interesting in that recent bundle. I got a new Gil Kane right there, Avengers by Avengers number 31 by Gil Kane. I think I
Oh yeah,
actually showed that one to
yeah. I
conquer a
think.
Colossus. Remember, conquer Colossus? You said, "Is that Colossus?" And it wasn't on that Iron
Yeah,
Fist.
no, it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You actually
Yeah,
showed that one last night, I think.
and I think I'm not sure, but that might be that team up, that Spider-Man versus Frankenstein monster might be a Gil Kane as well. So I mean,
Yeah,
he's all over the place.
yeah. I can't believe how much stuff he did, man. It's like it's amazing.
Well, I mean, Ryan said, I don't know where he got it from, 800 different covers just for Marvel. And you
Is
heard
that
me
right?
reading
Okay,
through
yeah.
the J's for DC Comics, and it was a long list.
Hail Apex Comics.
Hey,
Them back
Apex.
live on Fun My Comic. Get one now. Get you a Dan Lawless cover with a Dan Lawless T-shirt and some free cards and sketches, a mini comic, all kinds of good stuff over there. Go back Apex.
Is baboon ass best eaten raw?
I'm not sure. It's going to be an experiment. We'll find out. Maybe maybe we'll start on Tinned Monkey next year after I get done with the fish.
If I buy sardines for my boys, Brink, Brinks,
Binks.
Binks. Oh yeah, Binks. Jar Jar Binks makes eating difficult as he sits on my shoulders like a parrot trying to dip his mush in my food. And there is that raw ass, that is very uncomfortable to sit on till
But
it
I saw the picture
actually
you posted
kind of
the other day,
scabs
Carrie,
over,
of
turns
the of Shadow and Binks wrestling together. That was cute.
Misa, Misa, sir, Yusa, sir. Well, I don't know if Eric Hudson's going to get the memo today, but that's
I
okay.
you,
On with the
you may
show.
have
This is
forgotten about
it.
us,
How could you forget about us? And don't say very easily.
right? You cut me off at the pass.
Yeah. Well, it has happened before, and they've been apologetic, and we've usually had the person or said
Oh
persons
no, we'll never
on
forgive them, and
later.
you're never coming up. No, I'm just teasing. Yes, of
Right.
course we
Yeah.
have.
That was your one shot for fame. And yeah, you
You
blew
only
it.
get one shot with
Um,
Rex and Shadow. You blew it, kid. You blew it. You'll never work in this town again.
That's right. Now, I sent out some ads. I started with this one. I said, they say an image is worth 1,000 words. So, bam, only on Fund My Comic. And I showed the cover to Devil Flyer, did a little bit of self promotion there. And then
There
I
you go.
said, then I showed Dionis's front and back cover to the art book that's on the campaign. I said, bam. And then I put on George Peter Gaddis's Midnight and John Dillard's piece, I think, which goes good because she's got her gun up there and he's like been shot, you know,
Oh
behind the
yeah,
glass, whatever. So it kind of goes, and I went bam, bam. And then I did a threefer. I did where she's getting zapped and going through the glass window interior page by John Fernandez. And then I did Rob Ewing's based on Tank Ferret, based on my ideal that I gave Tank Ferret. He was the first person to do it that I gave it to,
yeah,
with the raised trident and the lightning. And then
yeah,
I put
yeah.
on Ryan's new Dr. K, which he kind of toned it down. It looks like with a little blue or gray. I really like that. I like that. It really, I think you did good, and especially toning it down. I think it looks good.
Yeah, it came out great.
Nice, Dr. K. I think you got blood splatter just a little on his
Wait, did
face.
you call him Dr. Katz? I thought it was just
Doc,
Dr. K.
Dr. K. And welcome to the show, dreaded Dinosaur Man.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Thank.
Hey,
Sorry,
Eric.
sorry.
Hey, we have to take a look at your backdrop, so don't feel uncomfortable. Wow, look at that! Exciting
wow,
comics, all kinds of stuff like
look at all
back
those
there.
wonderful
Planet
toys.
Comic, Savage Sort of Conan, I think. Look at all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I'm known as T Rex, so I'm a meat eater as well. He-Man woman hater. So you're in good. No vegans around here. Get out of here. Hey, gave you a
Absolutely
good
not.
shot.
No.
Get out of here, you veghead.
Now, where are you located at when you're not at a convention?
I am in the Detroit metro area.
Oh wow. Okay. So what's
Yeah,
the
good old Michigan.
biggest what's the biggest change that's happened in the Detroit area since you've been around that area, you think? You think it's on the comeback a little bit?
I mean, it's trying to. There's a lot of gentrification. You're
Mhm.
seeing a lot, like the downtown's pretty clean for the most part. We don't really have the roaming gangs of crime from out of town like a lot of bigger cities do.
Well, that's
It's
nice.
mostly
Yeah.
it's mostly pretty empty at night usually. But I mean, there's lots of great food places to go to. Concert venues are busy. Heck, I was just at the Detroit Tigers game on Monday, and just a good time down there. It's pretty decent, actually.
Huh, that's good to hear. I mean, because I know it was for
Now
a
it's
while there, it
interesting.
was not too good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, not too
it
good.
maintains its reputation as being a place you don't want to visit, but it's really not that bad anymore.
Yeah, I was watching a couple of years ago. The wife and I got into those like remodeling shows, and there was a girl that was buying and remodeling and flipping homes down there.
Oh yeah. She's like a little cute blondie or something.
Yeah, the real cutie.
I remember watching that because she was there was big news around her because the house she bought was on Grand River, which is about 5 miles away from where I'm at.
Oh wow, cool.
You can drive by and see the progress and whatnot.
But yeah, she was pretty popular there for a little while. I don't know if she's still doing it or not, but you know.
It's interesting that Carrie mentioned wrestling because you're kind of a wrestling artist, right? Something like that. In
That's
little
pretty much
bio?
where I made my mark. Yeah, I've done a lot of wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Well,
cool.
take us through that. That's kind of different. Like what? Promo things or wrestling comics or what?
When I got started doing the whole convention scene the second time, the first time I just focused on my independent comics I was making, which that was back in 2005. Didn't make any money, decided to go into teaching, did that for a little while, and then when I couldn't do that anymore, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll try doing the convention scene again and do fan art. So I would experiment with different things. You know, I'm into different styles. Did some digital painting, some movie posters and stuff. And then I ended up doing a piece with Bret Hart, patterned after Amazing Spider-Man 129.
Cool.
So
Punisher.
you know, the matchup worked perfectly. Punisher, Bret Hart, the Hitman. Instead of Spider-Man in the sights, I put initially it was Vince McMahon, and then I ended up doing Ric Flair instead.
That's cool.
Because my art got better, so I wanted to update that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it was the idea of classic comic book covers with pro wrestlers really caught on there for a while, and I ended up making a name around that, and also Japanese anime of all things. So you know, I was trying to draw the fan favorites like Spider-Man and Wolverine, but it was the wrestling and the anime that caught on. And
interesting.
it was enough to maintain a career of about 15 years of hard traveling.
Wow. Yeah. I was just on the road from convention to convention. Huh?
Yeah, there's like at least 3 a month.
Ooh, wow. Damn, dude. Wow. Yeah. That's a rough life.
Yeah, that was at the high point. It was 3 a month, but I can't do that anymore. Now I'm on the other side of the coin. I really want to just focus on drawing comics. I don't want to do any fan art anymore, and I just want to like publish books and do that. So kind of on the other side of it.
Are you on Instagram? I didn't.
Yes, Dreaded Dinosaur is my handle for all social media.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I've seen you around there.
And I won't even ask you if you're a King Kong fan because I see Godzilla right over your shoulder there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
Godzilla's my homeboy.
Well, you know, Shadowhawk's my co-host is a big Godzilla fan, but I'm more. I like Godzilla. I have nothing against him, but I'm really a King Kong fan too. You know, I think.
Oh, dude, I got my new Godzilla 70th anniversary and the Jaws 50th anniversary decanters.
Nice.
We filled them with a tiny bit of.
You gotta show it. Come on, man. Let me
show it for you.
Don't drop it. Don't be an LZ and drop it and shatter it.
They're up on the shelf now because I installed the shelf.
The highest point where when they come down.
There we go.
Oh, you put the colored water in it.
Yeah.
You bought that too, huh?
Oh, dude, yeah. I bought that. I was waiting for a long time for this thing. I didn't think it was gonna come. I was like, I think I got scammed. But my wife is a huge Jaws fan.
Showing some of the original artwork on your walls. Yeah.
There's all the walls are just plastered with original art here. This is all.
Who needs wallpapering, right?
I'll see you guys. My whole living room is just pasted like this. So I've
Yeah,
got this little,
I got that
I got
decanter
this
too,
little
and I was a
wall
little
right
just
here, and that's
Was
all
it
I got left.
on the scale of it? It was small, right?
yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
smaller than I thought.
it's about
Yeah.
a pint, maybe. You know, maybe
Maybe.
maybe a little bigger than a pint.
You're lucky
But
it wasn't
we had
like
it.
Cracker Jack size, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, the detail on them is really nice, though. And like I said, I did a little green dye in Godzilla and then a little blue dye in Mama Hawk's Jaws. And I'm gonna
Nice.
get a little one of those strip LED lights to put up underneath them and light them
Eric,
from.
how many Godzillas would you say you have in your collection?
I mean, honestly, I don't have too many, and most of it's around Godzilla 1985. So
Oh,
this
snap. I
is
see a very low print Silver Surfer #4.
yeah, Silver Surfer 4 up there.
That's got to be a holy grail there for you. Look at that.
I mean, it was at the time, but I'm really digging the 1950s Golden Age books. Like
Yeah.
I'm a huge Alex Schomburg fan, so I'm trying to collect most of his airbrush covers.
There's your
Oh,
Dick
there you go.
Tracy right there.
What's that?
There's your Dick Tracy back there.
Oh, sweet.
Golden Age. Yeah. So what's your favorite influences? Like your 5 big influences with your comic book artwork?
Definitely Bob Layton's one of my number ones. Him and Barry Windsor Smith.
He's still active. Yeah.
When I
Very
got
good.
really into comics is when Bob Layton hit Iron Man, and then when they
With
started Valiant.
John Romita Jr., right? He was inking over him,
Uh,
or was he
Romita
just drawing?
Romita Jr. He took over after Layton left Iron Man.
Oh, okay. And I know he did that Hercules miniseries.
Yeah, he did the Hercules. He did some work for DC too. He actually Huntress was a character he designed for DC.
Oh, cool.
And then when they split off and started doing Valiant comics, I liked Valiant more than Image.
Yeah.
Mostly because the artwork was more, I don't know, it had a lot more life to it, more warmth. Because they were doing everything, like the Image guys wanted to do everything as new as possible, so there's a lot of that cut and grad stuff. Valiant guys were still using watercolor for most of their work, for coloring the pages. So those old original Valiant books are just beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
But that's where I really got into Barry Windsor Smith a lot. And him and Layton would tag team, like one would ink the other back and forth sometimes. So those are 2 big ones. Bernie Wrightson's another big one.
Yeah, there you go.
I love Romita Sr. His Spider-Man run is the best Spider-Man run of any artist.
I love the one shot by Bob Layton that was the origin of Galactus that came out in like
that was a good one too.
Yeah. He lives in Korea now, doesn't he, or Singapore, or somewhere like that?
I don't know if he's permanently moved over there. I know his nephew or niece and husband was stationed over there, and that's how he got involved over there.
Oh, okay.
I don't exactly know the family relation, but I know it's a military thing of why he fell in love with Korea, visiting family over there, and so that's why he's over there. He's been over there for about a year now.
So Bob Layton, which is amazing, out of all and Barry Windsor Smith and Bernie Wrightson, and who else?
Bernie Wrightson, yeah. Romita Sr.
Romita Sr., right? I got to meet him a couple of times. Very nice.
And I kind of go back and forth on a few others. Definitely Frank Cho is in there. A little bit more.
I like his retro stuff. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as far as like Art Adams is another one. I think one of my goals is I want to get an Art Adams sketch of Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean, he does. I've been telling Shadowhawk this a while. In the 80s, he had a nice run on Godzilla that was beautiful.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely hard to touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
Have you
like this
collected the
Godzilla stuff.
Herb Trimpe 70s Godzilla from Marvel?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't
Yeah.
have a full run. I have most of it. Trying to
Yeah.
complete that, and I don't have it handy. Otherwise, I'd show you. But I have an original Herb Trimpe Godzilla sketch.
Were
Oh,
you
cool.
more of a Marvel or DC person
Marvel,
growing up?
Marvel all the way.
Yeah.
Like in DC Comics, I liked Green Lantern and Swamp Thing, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Got to go
you
with the
sound like
green,
me,
huh?
man.
How about we featured yesterday Gil Kane, and tomorrow we're going to talk
Okay.
about John Byrne on the show.
Yeah, Gil Kane, John Byrne, like the
I can't
silver,
wait.
the late Silver Age and the early Bronze Age. That's my jam.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, but you say you're really getting into the Golden Age, which a lot of people don't do.
For collecting, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
recommend it.
Well, I mean, you can. It's more affordable than what people think. Now, I know it's been getting more expensive of late. Okay, but I still think that you can. I know 40 years ago, I dipped my toe in it with some Lee Gleason's
Yeah.
Daredevil, issues,
Oh
$5
yeah.
a piece, and they were in decent
So
shape.
it just depends what you're looking for. Like, unfortunately, Alex
Yeah.
Schomburg does come with a premium price.
Oh yeah,
His airbrush covers, and then these
Dude.
Planet books. I really love the Planet.
Mhm.
That's my favorite cover there for Planet, number 44 there.
Yeah.
But,
Do you know the artist on that?
That one I do not know, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
I know a lot of these earlier books, like the Exciting Comics, for example. That was some of the early work of goodness, now my brain aged out. Frazetta. Frazetta's early interior work was in Exciting Comics. Drawing Judy of the Jungle, which is the chick in the blue up there fighting the shark.
Yeah, I see you got the silent issue of G.I. Joe up there. You got the first appearance of the Vision back there. You got Swamp Thing #1 back there. Amazing Spider-Man 300. And then I don't know about that Tales of Suspense.
Yeah, that's number 40. That's second Iron Man.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty neat that they would switch off, from Captain America to Iron Man, and they would do the same thing in Tales to Astonish, where it was like Hulk on one cover and then Submariner on another. I think that's a pretty good device with.
Yeah, so that was a carryover from the Golden Age, because all of those Golden Age books.
Yeah, like Flash comics would have Hawkman on one and then Flash on another.
Yeah, so they almost every book that was out was an anthology. So you get at least 3 different stories. Action Comics, that was Action Comics #1. That was an anthology. That was Superman's first appearance. He didn't make another cover appearance until I think issue 6, because they didn't know if the character would be popular enough. And then it became his book later on. It was just all Superman.
And back then it took like 8 months for them to get sales reports back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the fun things about the Golden Age books, especially the reader copies that I got, is there's so much forgotten material that is really good. So one of my long-term projects is there's a couple of them. There's Tara, the Space Princess, and then of course Judy of the Jungle. I want to bring them back and do new stories, because those are they're public domain characters now. So I think it'd be a lot of fun to do it. Nobody's doing jungle comics anymore. Let's give it a shot.
It's just neat to look at the old covers from yesteryear and just see the coloring and how they used to color the comics. And these are just covers that I bought off eBay for not very expensive, but I mean the covers are just beautiful by themselves. That's the main thing that sells the comics. So
the collected editions that I have that I've been reading, it's when you read these stories, this was no holds barred science fiction and fantasy. Like anything goes. I think nowadays people try to think about, well, is this realistic? Could this be explained? You know, kind of like you're writing for a Star Trek script where you make something up and then you got to make it sound scientific, like it's plausible. There's stories in there where there are fish that swim in the air. I mean, it's plausibility went out the window. It was just whatever was cool.
I think you can get too corny with it. I think they did with Batman, and until they returned him to sort of more gritty detective, he was almost canceled. But you know, in 1966, the show came in and kind of revitalized it. But then sales slumped again. I watched a very good documentary on YouTube about, you know, the ups and downs of Batman from like the 50s to the late 60s. And it was very interesting because I knew some of the story, but not all of it. And I think you can get too corny and too detached with, you know, unless you're writing for little kids. It depends on who you're going for. But I like to term it comic book logic. You know, their comic books has its own logic. It doesn't really, you know, I might not be able to quantify it, you know, with my reality, but what I'm reading here is pretty damn cool and fantastic. And that's, you know, it transports you. And I know you're old enough to have seen the spinner racks, which sadly have went away, you know. And I wish they would come back, but I don't think they're ever going to fully come back, you know, of course.
I mean,
now
it's different now because like where we would go to a store, like a grocery store, and see something cool on a spinner rack, kids nowadays are firing up their iPhones and going to WebTube and finding, you know, comics digitally, and it's essentially the modern spinner rack because you don't know what's going to be there. That's where new stuff drops all the time. So as much as I'd like to see a spinner rack in a store again, I think that'd be great, but it's just not going to reach a giant audience. You got to start putting your stuff out there digitally. That's where the kids are.
Yeah, that's
yeah. I mean, you could do it in conjunction with promoting digitally or something, but you know, I just like that somebody could stumble into a pharmacy or grocery store or something like that that carried some comics and find a brand new world, Galactus eating a world, or all kinds of things. You know, it's, you know, that made a reader out of me, and it really expanded my consciousness as a kid.
Oh yeah.
You know, beyond the normal.
My dad gave me a bunch of his old books. That's when I first got into it. When I was starting to get to reading age, and he just gave me a whole big box he had under the bed. They're all loose, well read. You know, no big keys or anything. They're just like a lot of you know, Bronze Age and Silver Age stuff. And I just fell in love with the worlds. I fell in love with the characters. Iron Man was my biggest guy. I loved the idea of hiding in a suit of armor and being stronger than you are. So I started collecting Iron Man heavy, and that's how I got into Bob Layton. That's history.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting, you know, over the decades, you watch certain artists, they either fall off and kind of get lazy or worse, but now, or they hone their craft, you know, like when I first got into George Perez, Avengers, it was like, wow, you know, and that was his early stuff. And then he kind of refined and changed over time, you know, not a lot, but I mean, he got tighter and stuff. And then, you know, some people like John Byrne, they're tight pencils, and then they go to, well, a looser style where he starts thinking his own stuff, you know.
It's interesting seeing the unraveling of Frank Miller.
Yeah. That somebody tugged on that thread a little bit too hard, I think.
The old sweater falling apart.
But now if you see that, you literally see little talking heads, it's little doodles in like Dark Knight 3 or something, you know, some projects like that are just literally talking news heads, you know, that's, you know, very close to real life, right? Now you're a family guy. And so does your family kind of like go with you, or do they, I mean, when you do conventions now, I know you said you slowed up on conventions a lot.
Well, when my wife was in her previous job, she had a lot more free time with being able to take vacation. So anytime there was an anime show, she'd hop along, or she'd go to the local shows. Her new job now she doesn't have much vacation time, so she can only be local if I do a local show. We did a fair amount here and there, and then my daughter went to a few when she was middle school age, but
Oh, that's cool.
she didn't, thought it was kind of neat, liked Pusheen the cat and a few other things, but it's not like, I think our generation, mostly Gen X and late boomers, it happened at that time period where the comics were at their peak, and it just became part of our blood supply.
Yeah.
The younger generations, they just don't have that. It's not a bug.
I think in the Silver Age with the oncoming Marvel movement, you kind of had it primed for the Bronze Age to come in, and then you had other new creators, the sort of the second gen creators like Neil Adams, Bernie Wrightson, Jim Starlin, and others come in, and they really added on to that cosmic mythos that Kirby and Ditko and other creators did in the Silver Age. And they really went like with the Soul Jim saga, I remember reading that, with Jim Starlin, with Warlord and Thanos, and bringing all that in there. And then, Jack Kirby goes to DC and he's doing his Fourth World, which is really cosmic, right? So I think the Bronze Age, they really expanded on both universes. And
I agree. And then you started getting comics of things that you wouldn't normally do comics. Like there's so many cartoon and movie adaptations in the Bronze Age. So comics was definitely a very strong medium during that time period for storytelling.
Yeah, I mean, you had the big treasury editions, which I assume you've got a few of those around.
I have one that I'm very fond of.
Yeah,
it was one that was in my dad's collection, and then I rebought it because mine was so beat up and it was just falling apart. It just happened to be in arm's reach.
Oh, yeah. Sensational Spider-Man. Yeah. Look at that. And Gil Kane cover. With the lizard.
Yeah, so this was one that I read to death, basically. My dad's version. Like the cover was falling off. I figured I'd track down a nicer one for the collection.
It's probably got a collection of stories in there, but now you have any, Gil Kane was doing it and was very popular as a Spider-Man artist, but does it have Ross Andrew? Because that's when I kind of came on board in the Ross Andrew years.
What year was he? Because this is 1977.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been around the time Ross Andrew, 76, 77 is when I started like Amazing Spider-Man 149, which was the first clone story, with Ben Reilly. But now that wasn't written in until the 90s. So they took this, story from like, I don't know, 15 years prior and made it into something. Of course, they actually did a what if story about that too. It's amazing to see all these things come out of what if, like female Thor very early on. They do like a one thing, and then later a female Thor kind of comes around, and Spider Girl for one shot, and then boom, you got a whole Spider Girl series.
And now there's a Spider-Verse, and everything is Venom.
Yeah.
Well, didn't the 8-armed Spider-Man, didn't he appear in a What If first too, and then they brought it into the regular series at some point? I'm pretty sure that was one of them.
Yeah, but I think the What If came later. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're talking like, I guess early
What If had a bunch of different runs too, from like, because it would run and then get canceled and then run again and get canceled.
Didn't he have the multiple arms when they brought out Morbius?
Yes.
Yes.
101 and 102. Yeah. Maybe the ending scene of 100. And he's like, oh,
yeah, we just looked at that one last night too. That was a Gil Kane cover, I think.
Gil Kane, yeah, he was just doing that right then, and then 49 issues
I love
later.
his Morbius, man. His Morbius is my favorite.
Yeah. So I started with 25 centers. When did you start?
75 cents.
Wow, you are young.
Oh, wow.
I don't
He's
feel it.
just a whippersnapper.
I'm almost 50.
But you know, well, I'm almost 60.
Yeah, I'm
Come
almost
November.
60, so yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
10
we're
years makes a
climbing
big
up that
difference.
hill. Well, are you still back there? Yeah. You know, you're as young as you feel, and I'm Methuselah. But anyway, you know, look, man, you read comics, you're going to live longer. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it
It's
just
good for you.
it's good for you, you know, unless you get all tensed up about Secret War or something like that you're reading, you know, it's not good. Is Galactus going to eat or Ego going to crash into the earth, you know? So would you say Iron Man's probably your favorite character?
From the Marvel Universe, definitely Iron Man.
Okay. How about DC?
DC would be Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
a good
Swamp
one.
Thing.
Yeah.
All right. You said you were a big Valiant fan. Who was your favorite Valiant character?
Oh, geez. Magnus Robot.
Yeah, very nice. Okay.
Maybe
That character does not get the credit that it deserves. It should be way more popular. I know Dynamite tried with him, but they failed. So I don't think anybody's publishing Magnus books right now. But I went back
really
and I
like
got
the Solar.
Solar was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I've still got that poster, the crazy where he blew up the whole city, and it's like the overhead view.
Cool.
I forget who was drawing Solar at the time.
Chemo did that a long time ago in Metal Men.
Dude, this thing was folded up in the comic though, and you open it up, it was like a 36 by 40.
Barry Windsor Smith.
I think it was. Yeah, it was Barry.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me what issue that is. Maybe Eric would like
dude.
this.
I've still got the poster. It's rolled up in a tube.
I'm sorry, a little self-promotion.
Yeah, my comic.
Little self-promotion there, you know. But yeah, my main character linchpin is Devil Flyer. But the book that I was first going to come out with was my Man Thing, or well, let's put it that way, or Swamp Thing, you know, called Bog. Swamp monsters, right? Swamp monsters are cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, so is there anything that you're concentrating right now on in your career, in your collecting, in your home life?
What was the question?
Is there something you're kind of focusing on right now, real heavily?
My biggest focus right now is Daughter's Revenge. It's a 120 plus page pirate graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
It's written by my buddy Jay, drawn for Studio, and Russ X-Wing from the Geeks and Gamers side of the table. And it's an amazing story of a man who, this takes place in 1715. He works for the Crown. He's the lieutenant in charge of the Marines on the Victory, which is the British flagship. And he's a pirate hunter. And we pick up in the story, with him serving around, and he believes he's doing the right thing. He's a godly man, and he goes on shore leave. Tragedy strikes, and the story leads basically end up becoming the thing that he becomes. Yeah, it's a pretty powerful, strong story. As far as art wise, I kind of went back and I looked at a lot of the more golden age and silver brushwork for the styles. Do things a lot looser than I normally do, and got the terrific team of Robo, who colored Merkmaid for us, and the Pixel Trader, who is doing the design work, also from Merkmaid. So, the three of us together are a really good team. We do really good work. And, this story is book 1 out of probably 5. So I'm going to be drawing pirates for quite a while.
Very cool. Now that's kind of like inspired. I did want to show you my character. I've been drawing him for 10 years. Here's a recent piece that I commissioned Ryan James to do.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So is that the bog guy?
That's the bog, yeah. And the original design is the head up there by the 10, how he originally looked, and he's kind of like whereas Man Thing and Swamp Thing have kind of a distinctive look, although different artists like Tom Yates and others have drawn him, Bernie Wrightson, of course, for about 10, and Luis Dominguez got to do him like on cover 11, and then Bissett, I guess. Different artists are going to depict him differently. I like the 80s run where they put the little mushrooms and all the little detailing and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
Alan Moore stuff. That was a lot of fun. But I mean, I like to do that with some characters, and whereas some is kind of locked into a look, you can always change their costume or do different costume variants, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like the Wasp, my gosh, she was like a fashion designer, so she had a new costume like every freaking issue almost.
Oh yeah, and then Iron Man was always getting new armors. That was another cool thing about the Iron Man comics. The Silver Centurion's my favorite.
You could actually, back in 1982, when I first went to the first comic book shop I'm in Northeast Arkansas, and he's up around the Chicago area, sort of south of Chicago, and went over to Memphis Comics and Records, which is no longer there. And you could actually pick up, I was like, I got $2 left, $2. Okay. I could actually go and pick up like Tales of Suspense in good shape, and even got an like maybe his 5th appearance in, Iron Man in the Mach 3 golden armor, where he's like on for $2. I mean, man, I should have just went back with about $50 and racked up on some of those, Of course, I've had my first collection destroyed, unfortunately, back in 97. And so now I've had to rebuild. I turned around and bought out a comic book shop. I had a comic book shop in 82 and 83 when I was like 16, 17 years old, along with another gentleman. And got in right on when the direct market came in the 80s, when sort of everything gravitated within a 5-year period very quickly away from the newsstand and to the comic book shops. But the comic book shops aren't doing that well, Eric. And so it's kind of niche. I didn't know that till I knew it was kind of for nerds somewhat, I guess. But I don't know about you, but when I went to high school, I was like, yeah, I've got a superpower, and it's called I read comics, and I know more than you do. The in crowd to me knew about comics. If you're in the know, right?
Not that way anymore. No.
Yeah, not anymore. So what's the future of comics, Eric? Do you think? Hey, Belmont.
I think that the floppies will probably die out at some point. And everything will be more trades as far as the paper publishing goes, especially with the way costs are rising. And costs never go down, so you got to kind of You got to be nimble with it. And like I said earlier, Gen Z, the ones that read comics, are all over Webtoon and Global Comics.
Yeah.
Platforms made for scrolling on the phone, because you have two generations now that have been trained to swipe up on the phone to read stuff.
You've been very heavily into the Webtoon thing. Now, how's that
Right.
going for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't drawn a Dreaded Dinosaur Man strip in a long time, because it doesn't pay the bills. So I've been drawing stuff to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But it's definitely on my to-do list, and that's one of the great things about working with somebody like Jay, is he sees the value of that character and wants to make sure that he can help get that out. So once the pirate book is done, I'll have more time freed up, and I can work on Dreaded Dinosaur Man before we start the next book.
And tell us about Dreaded Dinosaur Man, the character.
Well, Dreaded Dinosaur Man's kind of my love song to what I grew up with in the 80s. I actually have an action figure I made of him.
Of course you did. Yeah. Red Skull's got nothing on him.
Yeah, no. So the character is basically he's a muscle-bound character, kind of like a He-Man type, but he has an amnesia and doesn't know why he looks the way he does. He's called a monster. He struggles with lashing out and becoming the monster. Doesn't know if he's a monster trying to be a man, or if he's a man who's becoming a monster. That type of scenario. So plays on a lot of things that young men go through emotionally. And he's got a sidekick, this little cat person named Spaz, who I made a.
You just generally speaking about him, and it almost reminds me of what Ben Grimm the Thing went in, because he was not like the others. He couldn't pass.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Down the sidewalk without getting noticed, right? And he's like, "What has happened to me in those early issues?"
So this is Dinosaur Man's sidekick, Spaz, who's a cat person, very intelligent, from another part of the galaxy, doesn't know how to get home. The planet that they're on, he crashed on it, and so part of his, he's trying to fix up his spaceship so they can at least try to figure out where his home is and how to get back to it. And in the first episode on Webtoon basically goes through them trying to rescue a girl who's being sold into slavery. Her name is Telexis, and that's kind of the core group, is the three of them. And once I finish the story I line out that's on Webtoon now, it goes into the print book story, which is a complete different scenario. But it's basically, there's a formula, like an episodic formula of people being harmed or being exploited, and Dinosaur Man's their hero. So there's a few episodic things like that. And then ultimately we start learning some of the secrets, why he looks the way he is, who the big bads are. And just
I'm
good
not checking it out
storytelling
yet on Webtoon. Do you have to do that like a different format with the paneling, like if you did it for newspapers, or as opposed to like
for Webtoon, everything is vertical storytelling. So you're aligning your panels in one long line, basically, because they're going to be scrolling up like Facebook. And what's really cool about that is between stretching the panels out, and I do it in a few of my strips, you actually get to play with time. So in the second episode, I think, or maybe it's the first episode. Yes, first episode, he jumps off a cliff to get down to where the slavers are. So as you're scrolling, you're seeing the different parts of him falling.
Yeah.
Then he realizes that he missed his mark. He's not going to hit the vehicle. He's going to hit right in front of it. But by doing that scrolling, you can tell the story with time, which is kind of a neat aspect.
I think Jim Steranko early on, was kind of indicating that every panel in a comic is a small increment of time.
Right.
Sequential.
Yeah, and so how you switch, sometimes you rely on the written part of the story to say like 4 hours later or the next day. But you have to
Meanwhile,
communicate. You need to communicate. Yeah. Meanwhile, you need to communicate that in the art too.
yeah.
So, like with the Mermaid book, Pixel Trader and I just had a powwow, and we actually reorganized some pages because it made the timeline make more sense
Yeah.
of the events that were happening. So
Now I know you did a cover for Little Mermaid, but now you did some interior work on that?
I drew the entire interior. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
A fun character, huh? It reminds
Fun.
me of Sebastian, of course. You do your eyes like this. What a great line. I love that. And I probably wouldn't even know that, but my children were small at the time, when
Right.
that came out, and they just loved the Little Mermaid that came out from Disney. And I subsequently I did too, especially Sebastian the crab.
That's a great story. It's
Yeah.
those old Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales and fables that
Mhm. Yeah.
Disney fly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I like that. That book
Beauty
is
and the Beast,
beautiful.
and yeah, I mean, most of our entertainment used to be book related, right? I mean, there were adaptations from books, Grimm fairy tales and all kinds of stuff. But you see that less and less now. Movies made from actual books that have come out and been popular in popular culture. Could that be could that be a problem? I mean, with movies today, because it seems like they're recycling, rehashing, and they couldn't write themselves out of a paper bag 9 times out of 10.
Well, the talent doing all of this stuff,
Yeah.
for the large part, don't have imaginations.
Mhm.
Like they only know what they've been told, and they can only kind of. That's why everything is a self insert, because they
Mhm.
just that's their immediate knowledge, or they need to put their imprint on the stuff. Like a lot of those people, they're not able to picture in their mind a scenario that has nothing to do with them.
Mhm.
People that are able to do this, to really develop and tell stories. I think there's a shortage of them, or it's like, I mean, I don't know. There was a really good YouTube video that I watched where a guy kind of did this breakdown of why everything out of Hollywood sucks, why everything's a
Yeah.
sequel, and it was kind of hitting on those bases, is that you're dealing with people who have essentially no internal dialogue and no imagination.
Yeah.
So they can't think of anything
That
that tell
that's
a story
interesting,
about.
just that phraseology that you use, that internal dialogue, because you as a
Mhm.
writer, you kind of take that inner dialogue within yourself that you have from day to day, especially when thinking about different characters or
Yep.
different plots or stories, and then you kind of like mold that and shape that and say, well, that's garbage, you either throw that out or keep that, that's a good little bit, right? So but
Yeah.
it starts with just a day to day. You might be washing your hands or going to let the dog out or something, and then something pops into your head. And that's being
Yeah.
creative, right? And then you hone it, you rein it in, and you make something out of it. And
Yeah. For me personally, I see movies in my head. And
mhm,
especially if there's a musical muse, like certain rock bands, I'll listen
mhm,
to them because they channel. Like for most of Dinosaur Man, I'm listening to the band Blind Guardian. They're a European opera metal band. It's
Oh,
really
cool.
good storytelling. They have an entire album donated to Tolkien, for example. So
mhm,
these are songs that tell stories. And so
yeah,
my imagination will take the lyrics and the instrumentals and just like kind of go with it. And I just plug in my own characters, start
yeah,
watching movies in my head to come up with different ideas. So that's kind of how the initial storyboarding process goes. When I write, I don't go from a script I've written out. I have like images that I've memorized that I've thought up,
mhm,
kind of put them down first, and then I come back and say, okay,
yeah.
how can I dialogue this?
That's
I'm
what
trying
I
to
do.
tell.
Is I usually it's just a very strong image, and then
Yeah,
maybe two more or something, and then how those. I know that's how the Devil Flyer story started, was just like three strong images, and
yeah. It's
and
it's
then
it's kind of the Marvel method, like the original Marvel method. I
yeah,
remember I read a book about the early days of Marvel, and Lee and Ditko did not get along well at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they would draw and write Spider-Man is Lee would have an initial concept, give it to Ditko. Ditko would just draw it and then send the pages, and then Lee would come in and start dialoguing, what fit the panels and with the story idea.
Now, I believe this is your cover right here.
Oh yeah, pencils down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's great, dude. I love that cover.
Yeah.
Nice
I don't know if you were aware of it, but Devil Flyer, the cover, is on the splash page of that book.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to get all the covers and the sketch cover and all that to that.
Yeah,
you're a great book.
I got Justin heavily.
It's nice to know that I have some of your work in my collection.
Thank you, appreciate it.
A lot of times, I go through my collection back in the day, and Shadowhawk would be with me, and I go, wow, that's a Ethan Van Sciver cover, or that's a even his colorist here, and Shane Davis. And I was like, I didn't even know I had this in my collection, because I was it was just a name, but then you see them on YouTube, and then you go back and you look in your collection and you go, wow, didn't even know I had any examples of their work, earlier work for the mainstream.
Well, here's a cool one. You know the significance of this book?
Oh yeah, that is Todd McFarlane's first work for Marvel.
That's
right?
Exactly right.
Wow, look at that.
His first published work.
Yeah,
9/8,
which is
wow.
Epic Comics, which is also Marvel. But what issue number is that now, Coyote? And 9.8, good on the grade.
Number 11.
Number 11, yeah. Todd McFarlane's first work for Marvel. Yeah. You didn't think I knew that, Eric, but I knew that.
Hey, surprise trivia.
We got to have Eric back on and stump Eric, just have a stump Eric,
Wouldn't be hard, because I forget names. And
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, yeah.
I do too.
Just wait another 10 years, Eric.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll forget my own name, and I have a whole new set of problems.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you can't find your own way home anymore.
There was actually one time, and I think it was blood sugar thing, when I was actually in like 5th grade, this new girl, of course, you see this new girl, this blonde girl, and you're like, humna. But I mean, I wanted to introduce myself, and I couldn't remember my name. I've actually one time in my life could not remember my own name. Now that's pretty sad, Eric. That's pretty sad.
Did you have to check your underwear?
Yeah, well.
All the blood that's normally in his head was somewhere else.
Yeah, okay. All right, I get it, guys. The baboon butt thing. I got it.
You got a little woozy.
Yeah, got a little woozy. She was
Twitter pated, I think is the term, right? It's Twitter pated.
Twitter pated. Yeah, like where was that from? Was that Bambi?
Yes.
That's a good one.
That's the first time I heard of it. I love antiquated phrases.
Well, I'm first year Gen Z, or I guess no Gen X, right? Gen X, because you gotta have a label, right? I mean, I thought we fought a war to do away with the class system, yet we still got it. So I don't know.
Well, Gen X gets forgotten all the time, so it doesn't matter. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's 67? What is?
That's Gen
X. That would be Gen X. 65 is when Gen X.
Okay.
Yeah, 64 is Boomer. 65 that I was born barely in November.
Okay, so you were at the very beginning of Gen X. Okay.
Yes, first year Gen X. Yeah, and
I'm near the tail end. Most put the tail end of Gen X at 1980. I was 78.
Okay.
So I'm at the opposite side of the generation from you. My wife was
older than you.
My wife was born in 82, but she claims Gen X because she has that mentality.
Yeah.
And I think it has less to do with the year you're born and more to do if you had aging boomer parents.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. Because I always thought I would be called a boomer, because I didn't realize where the dividing lines were. all these terms came out like in the 90s. I didn't know what any of them fucking meant. I'm like, okay, whatever. Gen X, Gen Z, what the fuck is this? And
It's, you know, I think I got to see a glimpse of the old world, Eric, you know, when, especially around in the farming area, you know, the way the world used to be before it
Oh
changed.
yeah.
Even
Oh
though
yeah.
it was in the throes of changing in the 60s, it was
I
still
was born not too far away from you. I was born in Missouri.
okay. Well,
oh,
show me.
Yeah.
hail Glenn Fleming in the chat. There you go.
You'll get
I
it. Yeah.
grew up on a cattle farm in southwest Missouri. So
Yeah. Well, that close to Memphis. Did you ever go over to Memphis?
no,
No.
I didn't go to Memphis till I started doing comic book shows.
Ah,
Oh, so you have been to Memphis, but later in life.
Later in life, yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up in Missouri, we were very poor, so we never went anywhere except to Indiana to visit family.
Yeah.
wow.
That
Right.
was the only vacation.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where I grew up, Eric, was Indiana. So
Well,
Nice. What part?
couple
I'm
generations.
right outside of Gary. I'm real
Gary?
close.
Okay.
Yeah, real
Yeah,
close
my
to
dad's
Chicago.
family is in Lafayette. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just south of us a little ways.
yep.
Well, used to, most people live their whole life without going, a couple generations ago, live their whole life. I guess it's changed the most after World War I or World War
Mhm.
II, but, they didn't get 20 miles from their house where they were born,
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
uh,
People didn't travel like
yeah. It
only rich
wasn't till the
people
50s
traveled
till the
back in the
holidays
day.
in came in, and the
Yeah, and then
very
you had like
little
the Route 66. Everybody doing the Route 66 for vacationing and.
exactly. Here's your
Yeah.
first trivia question, Eric. I'm gonna get you for that little anyway. Todd McFarlane. Do you know what city the very first Holiday Inn was in?
No, but I'm gonna guess like Glendale, Arizona.
It
I'm gonna
was actually
say,
Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah.
you didn't give
Kind
me
of
a chance,
surprising.
right?
Well, I've told you the answer. We've done that little trivia thing on here. Yeah,
Have
Memphis.
we?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Didn't know you were going to try and guess either. But yeah, Memphis, Tennessee. Of course, the home of
I
Elvis
always forget that.
and his little posse, right?
Oh yeah, Elvis. My favorite Elvis trivia was that Elvis's manager sold "I Hate Elvis" buttons.
Yeah. Now I've got to ask you because I'm a big Pez collector. Do you collect Pez
I
of
do
any
not
kind?
collect Pez.
Huh?
I do not collect Pez.
You don't. You don't have a Pez collector to your name.
I do
huh?
not.
Well, Eric, that's
I,
sad.
I remember them. I remember them fondly as a kid, but it was never
Yeah.
something I collected.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's why they're so collectible because nobody else collected them either. They just threw them away, and now they're rare.
Yeah, I didn't even know people collected them
So,
until I met
so
Rex.
if people pick up
So-
Dinosaur Man and throw it away, it might be collectible one day.
Maybe
Supply
that'd
and
be kind of a
demand,
cool. I wonder if there's a manufacturer that can still make like modern Pez's. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, on my next campaign, I hope to, or well, I say next campaign. We're doing the unseen artwork of John Buscema, and then after we get that book out of the way, real quick, we're gonna do another Devil Flyer book and another book, 2 books actually, hopefully, cross your fingers. And we're gonna for a stretch goal, we're gonna do Devil Flyer Pez,
Cool.
and then we might even have another stretch goal for another character of mine. We'll see.
I think like the only thing like that I do collect that's kind of off kilter is I collect old metal lunch boxes.
Oh,
I
good
love
one.
those things.
That takes up a lot of room, though, doesn't it?
Well, I've only got 2 so far. It's something that I got into recently.
Okay.
But I'm keeping my eye out. The next one I want to get is Battlestar Galactica.
Ooh.
I got a He-Man and I have the Black Hole.
Okay.
Disney's
Oh,
Black
cool.
Hole. One of my favorite movies. So
I
I have
had a
that
Batman
one.
back in
It does
when
have
I
the
was.
thermos.
Yeah. Oh, with the thermos?
Yeah, both of them have the thermos. You
Yeah,
gotta make sure
that's
you get
awesome.
the thermos.
Yeah, you gotta have the
That's
thermos,
hard.
dude. That's like,
Yeah, that's hard to get the thermos. There's actually there was an article in the local newspaper here in Jonesboro, Northeast Arkansas. Um, Out there at the university, this teacher, he had about 2,000 lunch boxes. Now, I don't
Wow.
know that they had the thermoses, but
no shit.
he had
Wow.
Dukes of Hazard and all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
You know, it's amazing. I've got
Well,
a
it got
small
lame
lunch
when they
box.
turned them into plastic. I mean, they're just not
Mhm.
even. Once they
Yeah.
went plastic, they.
Yeah.
You
But
gotta
there's
have,
been
you
a
gotta have the, see, if I was gonna do one, I want to make sure I can get it embossed
Hmm.
because you
yeah.
gotta
There's
have the
been
raised bumpy emboss on it to
oh
make
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
dude. My Batman lunchbox was like that. It was embossed. You could lay a piece of paper over it and then just run a charcoal over it, and you get the outline of Batman and Robin or whatever. Yeah, it would. That was. Oh, I love that thing when I was a kid.
And Glenn says he went to Memphis apparently in 1978 when you were born, Eric.
It was probably a lot nicer back then.
Yeah. Now, have you
It
been
was
to Branson?
justifiable.
Branson's really blown up and become sort of like a little Las Vegas.
Not for a
Missouri.
long time, but I do remember going down there. I remember
Yeah.
Silver Dollar City.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dog Patch USA, maybe.
Dog Patch USA. Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. Al
Never
Cap.
never went to see any shows or anything, but did go down for like the rides and whatnot.
Yeah.
The big thing for my family is we'd go to Springfield or Joplin and go to the mall because
Yeah.
my small town El Dorado Springs was like we didn't even have a McDonald's until I was a senior in high school.
Joplin,
Holy
Missouri,
shit.
where Rush Limbaugh was born.
I thought he was
He
born
grew
in
up.
Cape Girardeau.
Oh, well, okay, maybe it's Cape Girardeau. That's it. Call the host out. That's good, Eric.
Well,
You're wrong.
I'm a wannabe Rush.
Yeah, we want to be correct around here. I think it was Joplin that was almost wiped out about 2/3 a few years ago by a tornado.
The big tornado. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing
Oh.
what the damage. That's you live in the area.
Tornado stuff.
Did you when you were down south in Missouri? Did you ever experience any tornadoes?
Yes, I lived through 3 of them at once.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
had I believe it was 1982. So I'm pretty young, but it was so horrific. I do have very vivid memories.
Mhm.
I was laying on the couch. We were watching TV. I was pretending to sleep, which I used to do a lot as a kid, so that my parents would just leave me so I could keep watching TV with my eyes halfway open.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't know what was going on, and then my the TV goes out, and I hear my dad say, "There it is," and my mom bundled me up into a quilt, and we went and hid in the middle of the house. We didn't have a basement.
Wow,
just
didn't
the
have a
hallway.
storm cellar.
No storm cellar. We just had the hallway of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad went to the door to see what he could see, and then he came back, and we all kind of huddled there, and the house moved side by side.
Wow.
Like the walls were moving pretty vigorously.
Oh, damn.
That's not good.
And my mom was just continually praying, God, take the chicken coop, leave the house. Take the chicken coop, leave the house. So the next day, the pear tree, which was 4 feet from our house, was uprooted completely, laying on its side. Didn't hit the house. The chicken coop was all the way down the road, spread out with chickens everywhere. We had sheet metal from the local sale barn, like wrapped around fences, wrapped around trees. My pet rooster was killed.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of that was my very early childhood trauma.
Yeah, that's scary stuff, isn't it, to a young kid?
Oh yeah,
being shuttled off, and your parents all of a sudden get grim and very serious on you.
Yeah. I became very fascinated with it, and I almost went into meteorology to be a storm chaser.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way to die, dude.
Yeah, you were talking about your house doing that after the 73 tornado came through this area. My grandmother's house was leaning. It was still up, but it was diagonal. Yeah. And that, of course, had to be pulled down, but it was like this after the storm. and it's
Damn.
like, wow, you just take a house and go, "Nyeh."
Yeah.
It's really wild, you know. And that was one of the older houses that had those 12-foot ceilings and ceiling fans, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, the way
Like
they
one
used to
of
build
those
them.
optical illusion houses where you walk in and the floor is like seems to be tilted 45 degrees, but it's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm surprised you knew Dog Patch USA though. That used to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that does come to mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever went there, but I do remember the commercials on television for it.
Did you go to Opryland when it was open?
No, never went to Opryland.
Yeah. No Dollywood for you, huh?
No, no Dollywood.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
involve more traveling than what we could afford to do back then.
Well, now your father said he shared some comics with you. How did he get into comics, and how deep was he into it, a reader? And when did he start reading?
Pretty deep. He started when he was a younger man. He had a whole bunch of them when he was stationed in Germany during the war. And
Wow. Yeah. I mean, they
the
sold
ones
them
I
by the
inherited,
million.
the ones that I inherited were the ones that he brought back from Germany. The rest he gave away, and that's where all the number ones were.
Mhm.
All the keys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how many men probably died on the battlefield with an Action Comics or a Batman or something in their
yeah,
backpack.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they were. I mean, during the war, they were selling by the millions. You know, adults were reading them. Of course, it's kind of like came straight out of the pulps, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, with the Shadow and the Phantom and all that early
hell
pulp
roll
stuff.
and see.
Yeah,
And let's face it, we were a society of readers then.
we were definitely.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest marked change. We're not as much,
Oh yeah.
you know, emphasis on readership anymore.
Read. Now, dude,
Read. Yeah, comics made me a
I was
reader.
voracious when I was a kid. I still have. I got so many books, dude.
Yeah,
I don't
you
have
still
the
got
room
gravy
for
on
them
your
now,
chin.
so 90% of I've got novels, hardbacks, leather bounds, all that stuff. All
Right.
I've got room to keep in my living room is my comics.
Oh, look at that.
Everything
Wow.
else, ooh,
I slabbed. Now you're
look
going to
at that.
trigger my co-host. He doesn't believe in slabbing. Books are to be read.
It's
But
a
I
plastic
think they have
tomb
the
for a beautiful book that needs to be
I
read.
have a reader copy of this. That's why you get
Yeah.
reader.
That's
That
right. You
doesn't
get reader
excuse it.
copies and you keep those beautiful, pristine for display
Yep.
purposes, right? Now, is there
So
anything like you got the
And then
lights
what?
on? See, this stuff
Eventually,
shouldn't be
there's
in the light too much. How do you protect something like that, or is it built in the slab?
it's mostly built in the slab, but you definitely don't want direct sunlight on them
Yeah.
for UV protection.
One of those would
But
probably explode, you know, if you got it in a really hot.
you
You
let
know,
them get hot enough, they probably
yeah, we won't
burst
do
into
that.
flame. You know?
burst into
That
But
flame.
plastic
this,
shell will
Oh,
actually magnify the sun at some point.
yeah.
this particular copy is Alex Schomburg's first published work.
Oh,
Wow,
wow. Yeah. Oh,
That's
so
the
that's
cover.
that's pretty cool.
well, that's got to be worth a little bit then, if
I
that's
mean,
his
I
Well,
first
guess
cover.
it's okay to put something like that into a plastic fucking casket.
Now, Julius
But
Schwartz, that was the big editor in chief for DC Comics for such a long time. He actually wrote and started out in the pulps. I don't know if you knew
oh
that.
yeah, they get like a penny a word or something like that.
Yeah. Isn't
oh
that
wow,
crazy? So you wanted to kind of be lengthy with those stories, right?
Yeah,
So you
there's
could
some
get a
great
payday.
stories in the pulp. I love them. I love them a lot.
you probably added a lot of short words like add, but, nor, the.
You can tell he's had Schoolhouse Rock. And but
Right.
nor will get you pretty far. Conjunction,
Sorry,
junction.
baby. I'm a child of that generation, man.
I know they've
And
even
I
got
bought
that on
that shit for
DVD
my
now.
kids, and I bought it for my grandkids, and they all do well in
Yeah.
English
I'm
and
waiting for
all
the
that stuff
4K
in
to come
school.
out. Now, do you like sci-fi? Do you like monsters? Do you like? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
what do your kind of taste run? Just now, I mean, wrestling. Not everybody gets into wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling kind of comes and goes with me right now. It's kind of gone. But I grew up watching Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and Bret Hart, and that's a fond memory of me and my dad. We would always go to the store and rent when the new pay-per-view came out.
Oh yeah.
So I've got fond memories of that, and I've met a lot of the younger guys, the guys that are doing it now, and they're really good dudes. It's fun. It's basically live action superheroes.
Yeah.
So it's a comic book come to life.
It's kind of sad Hogan passing away recently.
Oh yeah, that was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
He was still fairly young, man. I didn't see that one coming at all.
Yeah, like 73.
I don't know, Rex or Glenn. I've been in 48 out of 50, so top that.
And so what do you need? Do you need Hawaii and Alaska?
Yep. And I've been to Hawaii, but I was only 2, so I don't count that one because I can't remember it.
I've been to Alaska twice.
Yeah.
Right, have you? I'd love to go.
I don't recommend going in February when I went.
Right.
No, I would probably go like whenever summertime up there is.
We just need to kidnap Black and have him take us up there because he used to live up there and be a scout.
But he was going up there to build the ice roads, dude. He was up there in the middle of fucking winter.
He was building the ice roads. Yeah, I had a pretty good job up there. Yeah.
Fuck that.
I've been to Anchorage, and I've been to Anchorage once and Fairbanks twice.
Okay. I'm surprised you didn't go to Nome. Nome's pretty big.
They don't have a comic book convention that I know of.
Oh, okay.
Not
so
that
you
I
actually
heard
went to a comic book convention. Wow. Yeah.
It was cool. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even know Alaska had any comic book convention.
Hey, Elsie.
Yeah.
That's wicked. Hell, Elsie.
Well, you don't think about it, but
Marcus Calgary.
yeah, I mean, I guess there's people that buy.
I haven't been keeping up books.
But buy and read comic books up there, or like if I moved up there for whatever reasons, of course I'm going to take my comics with me, or at least maybe leave them here, and then I'll get something up there to read, right? I mean, even if I order it online now, I guess everything's went to online now, isn't it?
Yeah, quite a bit. I haven't been to Hawaii. I haven't been to Montana, Wyoming, or North Dakota, or Maine. I've been everywhere else.
Wow.
Yeah. And Maine is nice.
Yeah, I don't know if you would count I've never been into some of your old stomping ground, St. Louis, but I've skirted it. I've right on the outskirts. I didn't go in, but going over to Kansas City, totally just skirted it, on the way to Kansas City.
Kansas City is one of my favorite places to be. I miss I miss going to Planet Comic-Con because I don't know, I just love Kansas City a lot.
Yeah,
really good barbecue up there.
Oh yeah, good barbecue. Now, do they have I guess they have different crowds in different parts of the country, right? Or kind of, I mean, the conventions, some are better just because of the people that show up, right?
Yeah. And some of them you'd think would be better, like in LA, but that con is terrible.
Yeah.
Because people don't spend money there. That's one of the problems with conventions is that it's no longer hip and cool. It's kind of a drudgery and oversaturation of the market. So like the last few cons that I went to, you'd always find people like, well, they're just gonna, there'll be so and so con next week. We're saving our money for that one. Too many shows all over the place.
A lot of it isn't even comic related anymore.
Yeah, it's all like movie star signings. Like one of my favorite shows of all time was Steel City in Pittsburgh area, Monroeville, where they shot the Day of the Dead. And that was a great show for a very long time until recently. And it just became too many celebrities. And, when you're there as an artist or a vendor, if you don't make money, you don't come back. And it just, you got people spending all day in line for a signature. And then you hope that they shop afterwards. That's just no way to run a show. Why bother having us sit up there as vendors and artists if that's all you're going to do with celebrities? You could do that in a hotel lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Now, what was your first convention you went to?
The first convention I ever went to was FallCon in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That was in 2005. I just published my Melby Comics one half, the very first book that I ever tried to publish. It was an ash can. I was selling it for $1.
Wow. It was
Wow.
an ash can. Wow. Yeah, I imagine you've seen a vast difference in table rates since then.
Oh my, yes. Like that original table was probably $100.
Yeah.
And I've paid, the most I've paid for a spot was like $2,000.
Wow. Wow.
For
Yeah, you got to recoup that
10.
money, right? And that's travel time too.
You have to, and travel.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and you got to do all your own setting up and your backdrops, and you got to set up your booth.
The last few years of doing the convention circuit, I limited my budget to $1,000 in expenses. So whatever the table cost, that would be the big part of it. I would cheap out on the hotel as much as I could, and then the rest would be for travel expenses. So I try to come in around $1,000 of invested money in a show, because for a while I was pretty confident that I could make that back in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And by your third day, it's profit.
Yeah.
I probably would have just bought a cargo van, put a bed in the back on one side, and then you could line up boxes of comics and stuff on the other side, and just.
I'd like to be able to do something like that, but I have to have a shower in the morning, otherwise I can't function.
Yeah. I get you.
The people standing in line. Now, what's the neatest person you've been kind of butted up against too on the artist row?
There are ways to get around that, Eric.
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, getting to meet your heroes, so to speak.
I got 5
I got to know Bob Layton pretty well. I got to meet Bernie Wrightson before he passed away. That's probably the answer to my question, would be those big two. Like when I met Bob in I think it was 2008 at MegaCon in Orlando, I was a bubbling moron.
Yeah.
Like, I had that, the butterflies and then whatnot. And I made back then.
Bob. Yeah.
Back then, that was just before Iron Man came out. He still had his big chip on his shoulder from Marvel. And I called him, you're like one of my heroes. And he immediately stepped on my face and said that word was only for veterans, for military personnel. He did not deserve that word. So that deflated my balloon.
Yeah.
And I got a nice signature from him. And then a few years later, he was across from me at an Indianapolis show. And it was in March, so it was during my birthday. And we had done really well with sales. I was really into the fan art. I'd done pretty good. So I decided to treat myself, and I commissioned a piece of artwork from him for my birthday. And I gotta show this off.
Now who is Iron Man? Oh, Magnus Robot Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could draw any kind of dream comic book, it would be these two fighting.
Well, Bob Layton, when it comes to Bob Layton, I always kind of looked at him as just an inker till he did like the Hercules and the Galactus thing. And then I was like, oh, this guy can draw too.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorite.
Yeah, that's got to be sweet, and you learn not to use the word hero around him ever again.
Yes.
See you, Elsie.
So yeah, definitely. It really definitely sticks out to me a lot.
Yeah. So your birthday is in March. So is Shadowhawks.
Nice. Pisces.
Yeah.
Two fish.
Yeah. So you've really cut back on the convention circuit, although you were doing like 3 a month at one time. Wow. So you were just living it at that point.
Yeah, I hardly ever home. You get home enough to maybe draw a couple of new pieces, get some prints made, and then you're on the next trip.
And that was probably pre-kids, right, in your life?
No, we had my adopted daughter in middle school during that too.
Okay.
Which is probably one of the reasons why, like I'm home now more because she has a kid, so I'm a grandfather. I need to be around more. You know, my dad's passed away now, so the family. I'm kind of I'm the head of the family now, so I can't be gone every week. And I'm in my near 50. I'm getting tired of the travel.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I want to do it on my terms, to just do it for fun or do it for the support in the books, not to try to make a career out of it ever again.
Yeah. What are you currently working on, Eric?
The pirate book.
The pirate book. Okay. And that's
it. Yeah. It's all,
taking all your time, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's over 120 pages.
Wow.
And I'm putting a lot of work into it.
That's amazing, Eric. I see these crowdfunders and other books and these writers, these artists, they're like writing these huge tomes. And I'm like, if it's a one and done, I can understand, but besides an annual or king size annual or something like that, I never saw something so big out of the big two. And yet when it comes to the crowdfunding thing, there's some people really doing some thick books out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you want to tell a complete story.
Yeah.
You really do. Don't leave somebody hanging.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to take like a year or two between books, you got to give them a complete story.
You got to rethink the cliffhanger, don't you, at that point? Yeah. So my big thick book is going to be a combination of a pulp, and in the middle section will be like a 16-page story, for the comic fan of sequential artwork. So you get the best of both worlds there. I figured out I can write quicker than I can get all these people to commission to do their work or me to draw it, so it's just the words come quicker than the images do sometimes. So that's going to be my big thick book, and it's going to be a Western, Midnight in the Rouseabouts. But now Westerns have coming into vogue, and I got to throw this across your bow because I asked this question to everybody I've had on of late. Why do you think I've seen the Westerns become hot in comics like never before? Of course, I think retro is coming back in. Maybe this is part of it. Why do you think Westerns, and maybe you haven't seen this in comics at all, but I know Jimmy Palmiotti did a Kickstarter that was a Western. Of course, he wrote Hex, Jonah Hex some, and there's others I'm just seeing out there as never before. The Western seems to be popular. Why do you think that is?
Just a genre that had its day at one point, and now you have enough of a fan base who isn't familiar with it.
Yeah, kind of cycling back.
You take the risk, and it's like, that's kind of what we're doing with the pirate book, because there's a huge fan community for pirates. There's pirate themed conventions, pirate themed bars, but there's not a lot of books about pirates, and there used to be. So that's I'm looking forward to dressing up like a pirate and really promoting the heck out of this book.
Are you going to lose an eye for that? I mean, you're going to do the little patch over there?
No, I'm going to have two hook hands, because since I got this disability with my hands, I'm gonna have two hooks. And
now you say disability. What is going on with your hands there?
I have the autoimmune disease scleroderma. It's kind of like arthritis in some of the symptoms.
Oh, that's right. You're a scleroderma survivor. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of all these joints are all frozen solid. I got like no dexterity whatsoever in my hands.
And when did that start going on with your hands?
About 20 years ago, when I got married. When I got married, my fingers were still straight, so she was able to put the ring on my finger, but they started curling up pretty quickly after that.
Is it just like a tightening of the tendons?
Basically, they're all choked up in collagen, and it's like cement. So you're that's what scleroderma means is hard skin. So basically all of your connective tissues and soft tissues basically turn to stone.
Yeah, I mean, I had a dentist that had a leg problem. That's why he retired at 82 as a dentist. I mean, otherwise he could have kept on going for a few years, but he had calcification of the muscle. And I said, I've never heard of that. It's amazing the different things. It almost looks like severe arthritis because I've seen that, where to the point where it turns the joint. Turns at the joint, it's so restricted.
It's rheumatological and can be misdiagnosed as that as well. My last rheumatologist, before I quit going to the doctor, was arguing with my primary care who diagnosed me with scleroderma. No, he's got rheumatoid arthritis. I mean, all this, and then this guy is the rheumatologist. He was fat, and all he ever wanted to do was inject me with something or give me some pills. I'm like, yeah, what's the point of me coming to you?
Yeah. How's that affected your drawing?
Well, I give God all the credit for keeping me able to draw because I'm better now than I was before. So, it's literally mind over matter.
And when did you start your art career? Did you have any formal training in college or someplace?
Yeah, I went to college. I went to art school here in Detroit. And, I was a gold ribbon trophy winning artist in high school. My little tiny high school, I was the guy, big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
And
everybody
then,
came to you wanting you to draw something for them.
Oh yeah. That was the only time I got any respect in high school.
Yeah.
Because I was also the fat kid and I was a dork. So I got picked on a lot.
I was the fat kid and the dork.
Yeah. Very, very socially awkward. So
yeah.
Right.
Have you come out of that?
I hate to be the one to end the party here. Really nice to meet you, Eric. Rex, I will see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. We're going to
that
wrap it
time
up here
for
in
me,
just a
buddy. I
second.
gotta go get some dinner down my throat and get ready. I wake up at 3 every morning, Eric. So it's an early day. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you have a good day at work, and thanks. Good meeting you.
Yeah, I'll be going to work
great to
here
meet
in a
you,
little
man,
bit. I
and,
work at nights.
Nice to have you.
Yeah,
Later,
nice to
Rex.
have you on, Eric. Definitely. See you, Shadow. So what advice would you give to people that want to go into comics?
You better love it enough to do it and not make money.
Yeah. Yeah, be a fan first, right?
You gotta have a passion for it because there's gonna be so many days you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. And if you're gonna turn it into a career, it's gotta be in your blood. It really has to be in your blood.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know any other way to say it because I would be doing this if nobody knew my name and I didn't do anything prior to this. I would want to tell stories. I'd want to draw. So
yeah,
might as well make a career out of it. I want to do it so bad.
I guess your parents were sort of encouraging along the way with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I never had to worry about art supplies. I was, they bought me everything I needed, and encouraged me to go to art school. The only problem is that my dad was pretty loose with money, so we were always poor. So I had to take out a bunch of college loans to go to school.
Yeah. You got them paid off yet?
Well, the disability helped with that.
Yeah. It takes a while, doesn't it, to pay that stuff off? Yeah. Well, it's been a joy. I hope you will consider coming back on at some point, and
sure thing. Yeah, Daughter's Revenge, the pirate book, you can sign up for that at daughtersrevenge.com to get notifications for it. And I'll be doing
that. You got that on your link tree as well, right?
Yep.
And that's down in the description and also in the chat. Check that out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So once the book is done and we get ready to launch over on Ripasend, I'm going to be hitting up whoever will have me on because we want to promote this. It's
I got my
It's
first
definitely
Ripperson book in the other day, The Mighty Golden
nice.
Gantry up there. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that my first experience with Ripperson, you know, little different platform. Got
Yeah, it's not.
Reenie's cover.
Yeah, it's not crowdfunding. You have to be completely done before you submit for them.
Yeah. They're basically your distribution, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Mhm.
Printing and distribution, and it's really reasonable compared to trying to do it on your own.
Is this your first project with them?
No, the first one was Achromatic Chronicles Green. It's an all ages book that Jay also wrote. We did that. We were the launch book for Ripascend.
Okay. And so good experience, I guess, because you went back to them.
Excellent experience. You know, for me on the back end, when you're drawing this stuff, and I was doing every job on that book. I was the artist, the colorist, and the letterer. And I laid out, you send them individual pages, and then they do all of the back end work of laying them out in a design document for printing.
Mhm.
But when you're doing this stuff so much, you often don't see the errors that you make because you become blind to them.
Yeah, you're
so having them in the background was invaluable because they would catch stuff that I would keep missing. So, never listen to anybody that says you don't need an editor, because having an editor is a wonderful thing, because your fresh eyes will catch that stuff. And I'm very proud of the effort that we put out. It was fun to go down and sign all the copies, and CGC is a partner, so we had slab copies that went out. All around good experience.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do, but I don't do very many videos. You can look me up through Dreaded Dinosaur, or my old handle was Chad the Fat Kid, which was a webcomic I did in the 2000s. I tried to make a new channel, and then Google decided to take the Gmail that I founded right away, because I did inappropriate stuff when all I did was sign up for a new YouTube account. So I don't know. They've never gotten back to me. So,
do you have any conventions on the slate that you're
nothing's on the slate. Mostly it's all planning for next year. Definitely be at MegaCon next year, because that's going to be the first convention for Daughter's Revenge. We're going to be shipping Merkmaid out hopefully pretty soon. It's being lettered right now. So I'm hoping to have we'll have Merkmaid at MegaCon as well. And from there, it's going to be a lot of the Fan Expo shows for touring with the book. And I'm hoping to get back to Kansas City and also do Heroes Con as well. I think would be a good one to put on the slate.
Yeah, you just kind of looking at them on an individual basis now, or do you I could do about 2 or 4 a year? You got any set number?
Don't really have a set number. I'll do what's necessary to support this book. So
yeah, basically that's it, right? Yeah. Do you think it helps to get out there?
Absolutely. One of the things, it works on the same reason that having a YouTube channel works, because the audience has a connection with the creator. But doing YouTube, you kind of limit yourself, and you can get into a bubble and not be able to get new people. So getting out there and getting the new people. I've even pitched the idea that instead of a convention, we go to some of these pirate bars dressed up to promote the book there, and to do like Renaissance festivals. Go where the people who are into this stuff are. And do that.
And get another crowd. I mean, you're always wanting to get another crowd, right?
You do. You definitely want to grow your audience as much as possible. So stay positive. Talk up your work and the people you work with at every moment possible. And it'll become infectious.
And if you're excited
if you're excited about what you're doing, other people will gravitate to that, because they want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I would argue that, John Byrne was a fan of Fantastic Four long before he, that was his first book, was Fantastic Four number. And so you can see the greatest, the ones, the kind of cream of the crop, were actually fans themselves, and then there was some first generational artists
Mhm.
too, like Jack Kirby, and Gil Kane and others that were kind of, but they even had their Alex Raymonds and their other pulp artists that they
Mhm.
enjoyed in illustrators. So it's not done in a vacuum. It's,
No, not at all.
no one's living today that didn't have some inspiration from something in the 20th century at least. So,
Yeah.
that's something to think about. We all have our inspirations, and we kind of like pass the torch on to the other subsequent generations, hopefully, right? With this stuff.
I hope so. Like, I get the idea that some people kind of want to hold on to it for too long. I
Mhm.
could probably see myself kind of being that way sometime, maybe. But if you're not getting the new generation excited in the medium and in the storytelling, then it's going to die. You have to bring up a new
Yeah.
generation.
Do you agree that it's an American art form?
I think it originated in America. I think you can debate some other stuff like early French books. What was the
Mhm.
first sequential imagery? But as the floppy comic book, probably, I think it's
Popularizing it and putting a price on it. Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Mhm.
wholeheartedly American.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's probably if you read a French comic, it's going to have a French feel to it. If you read something from the UK, it's probably going to have an original. It's and if you read an American comic book, it's got its own feel to it and its own layout,
Yeah,
right? Which is going to
I
be
mean,
different from any other country.
American comics is what inspired Japanese manga.
Yeah. Real quick, just last question about manga. Where do you see that going? Or is it a threat to sort of the westernized comic books? And how do
I
we
mean,
battle against that, or do we have to?
I don't think you have to. I think it's something that should be embraced. It's at the bottom of it. It's or not the bottom of it, but the heart of it is good storytelling. That's why the kids are gravitated to it. It's good
Mhm.
storytelling. And
Yeah.
as we talked earlier, we don't in the mainstream we don't have good storytelling anymore. We have activists, and people with no imagination. In Japan, the culture is to honor the creator's original work, even if it's becoming an animated series. They have that honor tradition. So that's one of the great thing about the crowdfund scene and the independent scene is that we can tell the stories that we want to tell and get them out there. There's platforms like Fund My Comic, Rip a Send that aren't going to edit what you're doing. They're not going
Mhm.
to censor you. They're not going to tell you what language to speak. So it provides a healthy area for creators to really tell the stories they want to tell, but then let the free market decide what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
Um, the side of the coin for the creator is to recognize if you created something that sucks, try something else, pivot. Try a new story.
All right, I
Um,
lied or exaggerated. I've got one more question. How does a
sure.
person sort of foster creativity within their own life?
Well, I think for number one is that they always say to write what you know. So
Mhm.
if you want to write about something, you need to learn about it. Just and be a reader of books, be a watcher of movies, TV. Don't do it as a consumer. Do it as a producer. Look at how they're telling the story. See whatever you're interested in. Learn to dissect it, break it
Mhm.
down, and remix it if you have to. Um, if you've got that passion for it, then it's just going to become infectious, and you'll keep doing it. I think it's something that can be learned, even if you don't have like talent. But you got to have that inner dialogue too, and that imagination.
Yeah.
People who don't have an inner monologue or an imagination. It's probably not a good place for them to be.
Well, I mean, there's different ages that you can start. Grandma Moses didn't start painting till she was 90.
Yeah,
So
uh,
it's
Jack
never too.
Kirby. Jack Kirby drew Fantastic Four in his 40s. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Never too late to start being creative,
well,
Yeah.
but the biggest
Anyway,
thing that I will say, the last thing I want to say on that is give yourself permission to fail. because that's
Yeah.
something that stops a lot of people.
Yeah.
Somebody I love very dearly and close to me has all the potential in the world, but if it's not perfect the first time, they quit. You
Mhm.
can't be that way. You've got to give yourself permission to fail because that's how you learn.
Yeah. And the more you do it, I think it gets easier to let go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you don't, if it's got to be perfect, like you said, perfectionism. Because I mean, I think we all have that in us, especially when we're early artists. We want it to be good, right?
Yeah.
And when it's not good, we're probably more upset than anybody.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
that's
you
why I
got to.
tell students, give
Yeah,
yourself permission
I've got a pile
to
of
do that
failed
way.
stuff. I've got a pile of failed stuff
Oh yeah.
right now. But the more you do it, the more proficient you come at it. Practice, practice, practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just
Doctors practice their whole lives.
don't be an emulator, be an innovator.
Sure.
If you truly want to be creative, let your creativity, your unique life experience come out. I guess that's what I'm hearing from you, and I guess I'm kind of interjecting myself in there too. You know,
Makes sense.
yeah, makes it.
I think when you're first starting out, it's okay to emulate because you need to learn from somebody,
Mhm.
but not if you're doing this as a career and publishing your own work. You need to be beyond that before you start doing that.
Something I hate, Eric, is to hear I can't,
Right.
and I'm like, you're right, you can't. As long as you have that mental attitude and you speak it, you
Yep.
probably won't. So why don't you say I can? It's one less letter. You know, it's
Yeah.
just as easy to say yes as it is no. Give yourself a chance. And like you said,
Absolutely.
an ability to stumble and fall and maybe fall down. But
Yep.
if you fall forward. Don't let it set you back. Anyway,
Absolutely. Very
anyway,
well
keep
put.
collecting. We'll see you again tomorrow where we're talking about all John Byrne tomorrow. So we'll
Cool.
hope you'll enjoy that. Uh, and Eric, thank you once again for coming on. It's really cool to meet new people for the very first time. This has been the 4 o'clock shadow episode 1224. Wow. Anyway, we do it daily. What can I say? We rack it up quick. And we finally got the throwback on, the dinosaur man. Yeah. So Mark May coming out for filling soon.
Yes. Yeah. You'll be getting the digital edition as soon as the letters are done. The digital edition will go out, and then we're at the printers. So
I know a lot of people are excited to see that come out. So
I am too. I can't wait for the reviews. I can't wait for people to see it.
yeah.
My interiors are okay, but my buddy Big Boy Robo's colors it makes it look so amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's an awesome feeling to, fill the the bookshelves up with your work, right? Oh,
Yeah,
look, there's my little
absolutely.
dinosaur. One of them. I got dinosaurs. I like dinosaurs. I'm T-Rex. Come on.
Right.
Bang the gong, get it on. And we'll see you again tomorrow.